Welcome to the Unchecked Sports Pod, where we aren't verified public figures on social media, but we are obsessed sports fans with lots and lots of opinions. We are recording on Tuesday, September 17th from Denver, Colorado. My name is Jordan Redding, and I'm here with my co-host, Austin Jarvis. Austin, tell myself and Cooper the dog what happened in the world of sports this week.
Well, Tua, man. It's just so sad to see.
Oh, yeah.
Tua brain soup.
To me, this is going to get graphic. I'm not trying to be graphic, but to me, it's the hand thing that he does where I'm always
goodness, I know.
No. Don't do that. Like, it's one thing to get a concussion. Like, Troy Aikman had a billion concussions, but he wasn't, like, doing, like, weird, like, hand, like, it's clearly, like, a brain injury displayed by body movements, and it's, like... It's rough to watch.
I watched it happen live, and I was like, I saw his arm like go straighten out, and I was like, oh, there goes. He's done.
I want the best for him, but if I can be a little mean for 1 second, in what world do you, being you,
not slide?
Like you are actually, if you come back and play, which you said he wants to come back, and we can talk about if that makes sense or not. But like you slide. Even if unless it's the Super Bowl. That is in the Super Bowl, I will allow
John
it.
Elway helicopter.
I will allow it. Get your concussion to ride out into the sunset. I mean, that's fine. But like week 2, and you had it by 2 yards. It was funny because I was like, I was talking to my wife, and I was like, maybe he isn't aware. And she was like, he's an NFL quarterback. Like he's aware.
He's aware.
He knows where he's supposed to be. Like, yeah. Also hitting. I mean. Hamlin in the chest?
What are the odds? Yeah,
hitting him in the chest. I didn't like that it was that close to his heart.
I know. They're both just risking it out here.
Woo! That was Florida native, lots of Dolphins fans in my family, and there was the text thread got pretty somber.
So say if he doesn't retire,
which he's not. He's saying he's
not. Which he doesn't want to. Does he sit the year?
No.
You think he comes back after?
Past concussion protocols. Like, in the end, they've set the this isn't a hamstring that might get re-injured. I mean, it might get re-injured. And, I mean, I don't know. I hope the camera can pick up just dogs making guest appearances. They've set protocols in place. If he passes them and they clear him to play, he can play. I mean, that's just how it is. It's not, I don't think he can worsen it by playing now. Getting hit.
I would say, what if he gets hit again? What?
I was also thinking, like, in regards to the candidates for the skull cap, how is he not candidate number 1? Like, and I don't say I love them.
I don't. What are your thoughts about that? Let's sidetrack real quick.
I think I agree with J.J. Watt, where it's like it's not for everyone, but if you were concerned about it and it by a decent percentage lessens concussions, like do it. Like, for Tua, I would not judge him if he wore that skull cap. I'd be like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense for you.
Because I think Jonathan Taylor wears one.
Yeah. And, like, why not? Like, I mean, I don't think you'll be 50 and be like, oh, I'm so embarrassed by when I wore that protection when other people are like, did you ever see the movie Concussion?
No, I
like with Will Smith, where he's the doctor that reveals the NFL concussion scandal.
No.
Oh, in it, the guy is like, he has such bad CT, he's taking pliers and like pulling out his teeth. Like they show this terrible, like this guy whose brain just is not functioning. It's wild. He's shocking himself in the leg with like a taser, just trying dude, crazy stuff. And so obviously we don't want that for anyone.
Yeah.
No sport or payday or anything is worth your health. And so, so I don't know. If I were him, I'd take the money and run. But
so if he retires, I think he has to pay the money back, which is the crazy part. They were talking about it the other day, and I was talking.
But he's made a lot of money up until now. I mean,
yeah, but I wonder how much he spent. Like, does he have like if he was to retire, does he have enough money to pay? Because he got paid more most of his contract.
Yeah,
and it's a big contract.
Yeah. I mean, maybe that's why I would hope that it's not money. I would hope there's an exit clause where it's all good.
It all depends on how the Dolphins want to approach the situation.
Yeah.
Like, they could let him just keep the money, and however that works, or they could be.
I mean, don't
awful.
do that, but like, hey,
a
compromise.
Like, exactly. Like
a little bit of
exactly, like what you already played worth, but like we're not going to pay out your contract.
Right.
That type of deal.
That's not typically how it works in the NFL. They're like, we're not legally obligated to do any of this best of luck, sir.
Good luck.
Like,
Good luck, buddy.
Yeah, in your future endeavors. So that was the Tua thing.
That's how we started out our football weekend.
What a somber moment. Ugh.
Yeah, and then to the fantasy owners that had Tua, including myself.
Yeah.
It was a dagger, but I went out and I fixed that real quick, so it's all right.
Yeah, you're making all the moves, man.
GM of the year, baby.
Yeah.
I have back-to-back years.
I did the same exact thing. I hit on enough bets to make up. I'm $2 up. Like I feel like gambling for me. I missed on so much.
Lamar, he 12 more yards. I would have won like $80.
Dang.
I was one of the ones that fell into. I did the red zone special of every team in the morning slate to hit a field goal. I only put $1 on it.
Yeah.
And every single team hit a field goal except for the Giants.
Dang.
And that's because their kicker Gano got hurt on the opening kickoff.
They knew on Friday and didn't get anyone to come in. Like,
so they
crazy.
just opted into extra points or the 2-point conversion every single time.
Oh man. That's
10 games to start out our
I feel
morning.
like it was too many. I felt like the afternoon games, they were like a little too light for me. You know, I would have. Dogs are wrestling out there. It's fine. They're determined to always actually be a character in this podcast.
Right.
So
they want to be known.
That's their cameo. I thought it was too many though. I honestly, the afternoon games, I was like, we're catching a lot of commercials on this.
Yeah.
If you're watching on like Red Zone or anything, I was like, I don't know.
Yeah, 10 games. I thought it was
Broncos are boring.
Yeah, exactly what I've been saying. Bo Nix is
Boring.
Boring Nix.
I don't know that it's completely his fault. I still don't blame him. He's a rookie quarterback, and a lot of the greats have taken some time to get used to it. So, I mean, I'm not none of these rookies am I writing off yet. I think Jaden Daniels, if he keeps playing the way that he's playing, he is going to have a very short-lived NFL career.
Yeah, he has to stop running as much.
Yeah.
And their coach said the other day, they want him to throw the ball more. They need him to throw the ball more.
Yeah.
That's what Scary Terry's there for, to throw the ball too. I just think, and none of them have thrown a touchdown pass yet between Nix, Williams, and Daniels. Did you know that?
I mean, from watching the games, yeah, that makes sense.
Like, it makes it makes sense, but like, it's just crazy to think.
Hold on one second. But yeah, I mean, I don't feel like any of the rookie quarterbacks have played exceptionally well.
No, not whatsoever.
But also, no quarterbacks are playing well. Like, what's going on?
Sam Darnold, Baker Mayfield, and
Kyler.
Yeah, Kyler for
Kyler
MVP.
was killing it. Yeah,
that's what I was gonna say.
Early, I mean, way too early celebration for that. 'Cause it was week 2.
Week 2.
But I don't know. They looked good. I felt like the Texans. I mean, how do we want to do this? Do we want to just kind of go through and talk about the things that stood out? I mean, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean,
what? So Saints, Cowboys.
The Saints pounded them.
I mean, the Cowboys looked bad, but the Saints also looked incredibly good.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
Kamara had a crazy week. Looked like it's...
And they just look like they are fast. Like,
yeah,
it looks like they are like moving. And Kamara looks fast. It's like you'd think I don't think he was a 4-3 guy, was he? No, but he looked like that. I mean, he's outrunning DBs. Like, it's crazy.
And he was big on the receiving end. Well, I think he had a receiving touchdown, and it was like a 40-yard reception too. Yeah. Like, that whole team was a big surprise for a lot of us, honestly. I did not expect.
Yeah.
I didn't expect them to do good. And then Rashid Shaheed.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's crazy how little Olave has had to do with their success.
And he still has over 100 receiving yards. Like that last game, he had 100 and something.
Oh, so never mind. Maybe he was more involved.
He just doesn't get in the end zone. He's more of a yards guy, not a touchdown guy.
I will say I was with a Lions fan, so we were watching a little more Lions than
How'd they feel with the Baker?
I mean, bittersweet. I think Goff has looked worse to me this year. Like, it's been weird.
I don't get it.
He's been so, like, he takes care of the ball, and that's like his kind of magic power, and that has not, like, he's had some bad turnovers. So I don't know. I don't think you freak out yet. You have to hope that, like, Amon-Ra can come back and figure it out. Jameson Williams has looked great.
Which kind of sucks being an Amon-Ra owner. on fantasy.
Yeah,
so
I have I was more on the Jameson side, although it's not like, well, he is getting a lot of targets. I mean,
he
it's
is
crazy.
They started to throw the ball a little bit more, which is nice.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Laporta has been not great.
non-existent. Yeah, which
is crazy. He was by far the tight end, like one, I think, last year.
He was, and I almost kind of had a feeling about that. I almost felt like he was going to have he was so high the rookie year, like out of nowhere, he was going to have a sophomore slope.
Yeah, I could see the old slump.
Yeah, so I
coming
think
in and
he can come back. I think he will.
It's
I
early.
just think exactly. It's early, and I think the first couple games are not how any of us thought the Lions would go.
I think it's a good. I mean, I understand all the reasons, and I'm not pushing back on this at all, but not a lot of starters played in the preseason.
Yeah,
and it seems like real preseason, like what
It's
used
showing.
to be. I mean, it used to be a 4-week preseason,
Yeah,
right?
cut it down to
and
3.
Cut it down to 3 with the bye week, but it used to be like you played the first drive of game 1, you played the first quarter of game 2,
Yep.
you played the first half of game 3, and then you play however long you want in game 4. Now game 4 is the bye week, right? It's a bye week before the season starts. Makes sense for injuries and all that. But I just feel like people aren't playing. Like they're in practice, they are, but there's just something about game speed. And as long as people, I wonder if at a certain point, if teams are looking at the analytics of, does it make more sense to potentially deal with injury, which if starters play in those games, someone might get hurt, right? Rolled ankle, something, pulled hamstring, versus easing into the season. Because like these offenses just don't, they all seem not crazy. Like these quarterbacks
whatsoever.
are scoring low in fantasy. I mean,
Very
except
low,
for
like
a select few. Like not a lot of guys in the
15,
20s.
19, like that's very low for a quarterback, and
it's crazy. And I mean, so I
almost feel like this is causing a lot of injuries to be spewed up as well. Like going to that Vikings game, the Niners lose Debo.
Yeah, so
and
they're
then,
out McCaffrey and Debo at this point.
And then on top of
Ayuk
that,
time, baby.
We'll see because Purdy's coming down to earth. I'm telling you guys.
Yeah, again, I would hold it against him more, if not every other quarterback, including Patrick Mahomes and Aaron Rodgers and like all of these, CJ Stroud. Like they're all having rough times. Kyler looked great. Burrow looked
decent.
Good. He didn't like in fantasy. He scored high, but there were some cracks in the armor for sure. Like he did not look like the undisputed, like, or a top 3 quarterback. I wouldn't say that. He scored all right, but
yeah, and I think it doesn't help that Chase is not. He's just, I don't know what he's doing, but he's just not there.
Yeah,
all that drama on the side is crazy. He stopped talking about contract extensions. He's no longer doing that.
Yeah.
And did you see him yelling at the refs?
Yeah, he's always kind of been that though. Like even going back to LSU.
He
like
has.
I don't know. He's a little more of the two of Jefferson and Chase. He was always the more vocal.
Yeah,
Jefferson has always been. I mean, still flashy player on and off the field, but like doesn't quite. Yeah, they've always had. Jefferson has been a personality that I've always thought would be easier to coach, which seems like it might be the case.
I think so, and I think
or certainly negotiate a contract with.
Well, yeah, because I mean, look at Jetta already got it done, and Chase just wants to be paid more. He wants to be. He even said, "I want 1 penny more than Jetta."
Yeah,
yeah.
How about Dem Raiders?
Oh my goodness!
Yeah,
I could not believe. And I hate the Raiders.
I think you have a deeper disdain for them because of
being
growing up a
Broncos
fan.
Yeah, I hate them. They're gross. But 13 unanswered points.
Yeah,
against the Ravens team that I thought was going to win that AFC North.
I had it circled like you had some early season real opinions about their defense, which after 2 weeks, like I wonder if you can't overreact. I've always like, let's get, a quarter through the season and then we'll have a better idea, but, and that's
they look bad. Really, really bad.
They are they're getting pounded. I mean,
and that O-line is just awful.
Yeah.
Awful.
Yeah. So Lamar is running for his life. Henry's not doing much.
No. Nope.
I mean, he's actually in fantasy been okay. Like, he'll get you double digits at least, but in the actual game of football, not.
Yeah, that RPO is not. It's not fully been what we thought.
Yeah, I mean, I do feel like Lamar gets a monster rush once a game.
Oh, yeah, because he had it was at the end of the game. He had that 25-yard run.
I will say something, and I think this might be a little controversial. Maybe not. Maybe but Kyler Murray and Lamar are two very twitchy quarterbacks, right?
Yeah.
I feel like Kyler Murray's pocket presence is significantly better than Lamar's. I feel like he is so hard to bring down in the backfield, where there's so many times that Lamar, it's like he gets to the end of his drop, there's a guy there, and he's not escaping that. He's getting brought down, whereas Kyler just pops out of there.
He's so
crazy.
tiny.
I know, he's little and twitchy, and so it's so hard to get him. I bet he was awesome at kick the can or dodgeball when he was growing up.
He's definitely that little shifty. He has the quickness to him.
Yeah,
and he's shown it this year.
But I kept being I'm a Lamar owner and my main fantasy league, and I kept being dude, just get out of that sack. You're
better.
Lamar Jackson. You're one of the best quarterbacks that can run ever.
Yeah, you're supposed to be. Then the last Michael Vick.
Yeah, how is the first guy bringing you down? It's crazy.
Break tackles, please.
Yeah, man, nuts.
Yeah, and Justin Tucker's just not been himself. 1 for 7 for 50 plus.
He's got the yips, man.
And that's in the past 2 years, which is he's oof. And he hit his first one last week.
Yeah. I don't know. I think you gotta. I mean, what can you do now? I guess you might be looking at other kickers and seeing. What
do you do? Do you try?
He's
to
kind of a
him?
hometown hero.
Yeah,
I mean, who would trade for someone who's gone 1 of 7 beyond 50? No one's going to trade for that. You just drop.
Yeah.
Him.
He's the next McManus.
Maybe. Yeah. I mean,
just go from city to city.
McManus at least kicked field goals. I don't know. He's missing so much. It's at a certain point, you don't have a job because you have to be able to make a field goal. That's a big part of it.
Do you think the Ravens make the playoffs? Did it not? So
AFC North. Yeah, yep. I do.
Because right now the Steelers are in the lead.
Yeah, I feel confident that the Ravens can beat out the Steelers. I hope. I mean, I really wanted the Broncos to beat the Steelers.
I thought we were gonna, and it was just, it was an awful game.
It's crazy how you could just put in any quarterback you want, and that offense just looks the same. It's just bad. It's bad and boring.
And
it's not Bo Nix necessarily playing bad. I mean, he's not playing any worse than Russell Wilson last year. It's just bad and boring and a lot of punts.
And I mean, yeah, it's bad. And
Broncos are a red zone watch for me now. It's I'll see the highlights because there aren't many.
Exactly. I hate, and that's what I hate about Paramount Plus is they only show the Broncos game. I'm why when you have the Chiefs-Bengals game going on at the same time, let's show a better game, please. Yeah. I don't want to see Bo Nix throw 3 interceptions. Did you see his post-game conference?
Yeah, where he was I threw it and the guy caught it.
Yeah, I'm okay, at least you acknowledge you suck.
I don't think he sucks, but I do think that, I mean, at some point they have to look at where is the problem coming? Is it the offensive line? Is it?
I don't know. And we lost McGlinchey.
Yeah, the
for
running
at
backs,
least a month.
Yeah,
and the running backs didn't even get 20 yards.
They do
not
nothing.
A single one.
They do nothing. McLaughlin I had as ooh, he could surprise some people, and he doesn't do anything.
Nothing. First week he kind of looked like he might be that guy.
Yeah,
and then this week non-existent. Javonte non-existent.
But I also feel it's a lot of first down. You better do a dive up the A gap. You know what I mean? It's a lot of just boring football, and I kind of wanted a little bit more from Peyton. So
I'm not a big fan of Sean Payton.
I don't know that he's done anything to help his legacy here yet.
He has not.
It's you've had 2 pretty bad teams, and this now is you've had time to help shape this team. Granted, you were restricted by the Russell Wilson thing, so maybe it's next year is I mean, I can't even remember how long of a contract it is, but I think it's a while. And so
I'm pretty sure it's a while too. So
I guess we'll roll with it because turning over coaches hasn't changed anything. So it's you just got to at a certain point commit to it. But I would be more excited with a Mike McDaniels, McVay, young, innovative offense guy than a guy who, I mean, he definitely had a run and is an incredible coach.
For the Saints, just not us.
I mean, for the Saints, and even did you ever watch that Kevin James movie?
No, dude, not his family did, and they told me I should, and I was like,
it's fun.
I thought about it, and then I'm like, I hate this guy. I don't want to watch it now. But I'm like, I want to watch it.
Yeah, don't do it.
Well, it's because he's just like everything he did with the whole Russell Wilson situation. Like, I'm not saying Wilson was great here.
Yeah.
But like, give the dude a chance. Don't just be so like he was just awful to the guy. Like, I don't know.
I thought Russell Wilson had it coming.
In a way, he did, and that's also what's hard is like
Yeah.
Wilson did have a lot of it coming.
He was coddled in year one. And that didn't do anything. So
But
he was
Hackett
like, all right,
sucks.
let's try. Yeah, I mean, Hackett was ridiculous. But then I think Peyton was like, let's try to, be a little tougher on him. And also, like, Wilson's a weird guy who no teammate likes. And so
that is strange. Like,
it's like the weirdest thing. But, we're going to see some of him because Fields has looked totally okay.
well, they said they're not going to switch it up because why change a winning football team right now?
They're keeping him on the bench, Russell?
As of right now, yeah.
That's
like
hilarious.
they think that Fields might win the job because if you're winning, why change it?
Because your offense has been bad and it's been the defense that's been winning.
Right?
That would be the
TJ
main
Watt
reason.
is your win.
At a certain point, TJ Watt won't
win
have,
you games against the Ravens.
Man, talking about dominant defense, did you see Aiden Hutchinson?
Oh my goodness, yes.
5 sacks. He was, again, I was with Lions fans. That was like the main game we were watching. And then because YouTube, you can choose a couple. We had Red Zone on and stuff too. But
5 sacks is wild.
He was just blowing stuff up. It is cool to watch. Like those guys, those Watt brothers, those Bosas, when they're healthy, like, man, they blow it up. I don't know what they feed these giant white men. Like these giant.
But yeah, they just tear through the D line.
Yeah, just huge white bros being just the best at. It's crazy. It's nice to have a spot for the white man on defense because outside of that,
Cooper
DeShawn. Yeah, not many secondary players that are of the white persuasion. Crazy though. How about something really crazy? Bryce Young.
That was
benched for who? The
Andy
Red Rifle.
Dalton.
The Red Rifle.
I keep seeing this video. It's like there's this guy's like, oh, they want me to come back to work. God, no. And it's like Andy Dalton every time they try to make me a starter.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, I can see why he's on the team as far as like a backup, like not a terrible
As
backup.
a backup,
yeah.
but not. You're supposed to like develop this guy. Let him.
Are what they say? I haven't looked too much into it. I've just seen like some headlines. But are what they saying is like he needs time to develop?
I don't even.
Or are they
know.
saying like we're benching him? This is a failed experiment. He doesn't have it. Like what? I bet they're saying he needs time to process the offense and all of that. But this is year 2.
Yeah, exactly.
CJ Stroud was almost like an MVP in year 1. I mean,
that is hard when it's like that's your comparison to CJ Stroud because that is someone that went in the same draft class as you. Like that is someone you have to be compared to because
that the assets weren't given up. I mean, right now it's like Bryce Young, Deshaun Watson, what trade is worse?
Oof.
And that's a real toss-up. Those are 2 really bad trades, but
awful trades.
Chicago's pretty happy. They get another second-round pick at the end of this year. They
Which
get Carolina's second-round pick this year.
And that's so gross. And
what an amazing deal by that GM.
Right.
Like, what an amazing deal. And either he just was willing to give up, even if Young came in and was awesome, he was like, that's okay.
Yeah.
Like, we'll deal with it, and just, kind of look towards the future. I don't know if they were advanced scouting and being like, there will be a Jaden Daniels, Caleb Williams, in the upcoming draft class that we can get potentially with a top 10 pick, whatever it was. I mean, wow, have they done a complete turnaround? I mean, not that offense is great, but
there's hopeful signs.
Yeah, and what a good job for the GM. I mean, all you can do is like put together the players that you think will be good, and then coaching kind of takes over. And so hopefully they do.
Eberflus.
Yeah. So I mean, for Bryce Young, it was 2 first-round draft picks, 2 second-round draft picks, and DJ Moore is what they gave up.
And that's crazy because DJ Moore alone, he's such a good player. He just needs to get the ball. He just needs the ball.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought with Keenan Allen out, he would do more.
Yeah.
But Caleb is like
mid.
Again, all the quarterbacks looked not great.
They
this
looked
week.
awful.
I mean, even the ones who scored well, like Kyler killed it in the first quarter, and then it was kind of a little bit slower work.
Yeah, exactly. It was a good first half. Geez, sorry.
That's right.
It was a good first half. It was just Marvin Harrison getting toe taps in the end zone, just beautiful throws, beautiful catches, and then second half was just nothing.
Yeah, I mean,
from both teams, honestly.
Yeah. It was pretty crazy. I mean, Harrison was, a lot of people have compared him to like a Megatron kind of, like that could be his career. And after week 1, I think both of us were pretty worried about that.
Oh, yeah, and especially after what Kyler Murray said. He's like, it's not my job to get him the ball. Like,
but I also think the coach took him aside and was like, hey, man.
like, come on now.
This was our first our first round pick. He's incredible. Like, why wouldn't you throw it to him, I guess is the question. And then, or whatever happened. I mean, or maybe it's just now that, because Harrison, I mean, sat out most of the preseason, sat out all this stuff. And so
didn't do the combine, any of it.
Yeah, he just needs to kind of get back into playing mentality or build the chemistry or whatever. But, I mean, he looked
great.
Looked pretty good.
Yeah.
It was very impressive.
You know who didn't look good?
Who?
The Giants. Never do they ever look good. Even Malik Neighbors showed out.
Neighbors is fun to watch.
Yeah, Neighbors is a dog.
It almost makes you wish like Saquon Neighbors were still there, because they should have done to Daniel Jones what the Broncos did to Russell Wilson. Like, they held on to that contract, and they should have just been like, this was our mistake, unless there were guarantees in place and they couldn't get rid of him. I would have. I don't know that I would have drafted a quarterback in the first round, because I think Neighbors is a good potential weapon.
It was good. Yeah, good to give him another weapon.
Yeah,
because that's the only thing they have.
Yeah, because there's no one else. No one else there. They're a rough watch. They've been a rough watch, and I'm sure they're going to have, let's call it, 4 Sunday night games this season, because for some reason the NFC East just gets so favored by broadcasting, and it is so annoying.
It's so annoying.
They're the worst.
It's the worst. And they're the first team ever to score 3 touchdowns and lose to a team that didn't score a single touchdown. Like, they lost, but their opponent didn't score. Didn't get in the end zone once.
What?
The Commanders hit all field goals. 7 field goals.
Dang.
Right? Because,
that's 21.
Yeah, They had 21 points. It was 21-18, so 7 field goals.
Dang. That's crazy. Well, if it was 18, they couldn't have scored 3 touchdowns, right? Or did they go for 2-point
They went for 2-point conversions every single time.
And missed every one?
Every single one they missed. It was
I did not watch that game close enough. What? Wow.
And when I saw the score was 18, I thought they hit a field goal. I'm like, all right, let's go. Like,
it's where advanced analytics is so crazy. What advanced analytics tell you is like, well, if we, within the red zone, within 2 yards, if we feel like we can do 50% or maybe even 60% of the time score, then we should go for 2 points, because worst case scenario, we'd go 1 out of 2 and it's the same.
Yeah.
But it's also like, just kick the extra point, man. Like you would have been tied. Like, just
you could have had a safety in there or something kicked, because Gano got hurt.
Yeah. And that's probably why they went for it.
Yeah. So they elected not to do it.
That makes way more sense, actually. Okay. I forgot that Gano was hurt. Yeah. That makes sense, but it's also hilarious.
You could have had some position player try to kick it, like, at least once.
Yeah. I mean, I would think that the punter could at least kick an extra point.
Right?
It's like, what? You only punt? That's the only kicking you do? Like, you don't think that if we gave you a week and you did this every day, you could, hit one from the 3-yard line? Or wait, how far is it now?
I think it's
now
like
a 35-yarder.
Is it? I thought it might be 25, like around 20. Is it that? I don't remember. I thought
30-yarder. I don't know.
It used to be 15. I thought so.
Because it would be like the ball would be placed on the 2-yard line, and so it was like a 12 or something. No, with the end zone, probably like 15. So now it's hard. I guess that makes sense. But man, what a just a bad game though too.
That's just boring.
Like, hey, Washington score. Like,
that means they probably didn't even get in. Do you think they got in the red zone?
Probably, and then just couldn't convert. Yeah.
Oh, that's gross. 7 field goals.
Did the Broncos get in the red zone? I don't know.
I think
it's a rough time.
They didn't get in the red zone until it was the fourth quarter, I believe.
Yeah.
Which is
so. I will say the vibe in my house had been somewhat down this week because of the Jordan Love thing.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
my wife, diehard Packer fan, was the vibes weren't good. Malik the freak, like, oh man,
what happened
Liberty
here?
Willis, Liberty University,
And I thought,
let's
I
go.
thought the Colts were gonna walk all over him.
This is where having Josh Jacobs was so nice. Just hand him the rock.
And I just traded for Josh Jacobs.
Yeah, you did. I mean, you gave up a lot though.
It's all right. It's worth it.
I mean, time will tell.
It will tell. I know. I
tell
gave
the
up,
people the trade that you're doing,
right,
that you're referring to.
So I got Joe Burrow and Josh Jacobs. I traded with Xavier Worthy, J.K. Dobbins, Tony Pollard, and Jahmyr Gibbs.
Yeah. So understand this is a 1 quarterback league.
Yeah.
So
and I had Tua before this.
Had Tua as your starter.
And my backup was Jaden Daniels.
Okay. But you gave up a lot of. So you have Josh Jacobs now, but who are you starting at running back?
So I have Josh Jacobs and I have Bijan.
Oh dang! Actually, that's pretty good.
And then my wide receiver core is Nico, Mike Evans. So the flex is between. That's where it gets like. Flex that's your waiver wire guy. It was originally gonna be Tank Bigsby, but he got hurt.
Yeah, he got hurt. Dang.
And that was before this trade, if I'm being honest. I noticed Tank Bigsby was getting more pickups and everything, so I'm like, let's just do this. But then he's getting hurt, so I went and picked up 3 guys because I had a lot of space on the bench. So I went up and picked Pierce, Chabernet, and then Steele from the Chiefs.
Carson Steele.
Yeah, because Pacheco's hurt.
Yeah.
Out for 6 weeks. He's gonna be the number 1 guy. So.
That's
I
sweet.
was
Let's
like, might
go,
as well
Carson
try it.
Steele.
Yeah.
I have him in my dynasty league. I picked him up as well after
nice.
preseason. I was like, he looks good. Before him, I had what was it, Lee's Gamut, who was like the converted rugby player.
Yeah.
And I was like, he's gonna be so good.
He's gonna be it.
He didn't make the roster, so I was like, all right.
He fumbled, I think, his first possession.
Yeah, I mean, football's different. I think he should stay at it. If he's that big of a boss, he might have just needed more time than like 3 months to learn football.
Yeah, go to the Ravens.
Yeah, well, yeah, they might need you. But yeah, so Carson Steele, let's go.
Yeah,
so yeah, you're doing all right.
So back to the Packers. I mean, did you see that the center threw up on the ball?
Yeah, that was wild.
And that was gross.
That was wild. And like Malik even said, he was like, they were like, why didn't you throw it? He was like, it had puke on it.
He threw up on. Yeah, he was like, he threw up on the ball.
Oh man.
Because I wouldn't throw it either. That's messed up to throw it to somebody with puke all on it.
But also, like, couldn't you tell a ref and they like wipe it off? Maybe there was a time crunch happening. Were they in?
I think
it
was literally like he threw up on it right before he hiked it. Man. It was like instantaneous. It was so gross. Because I watched the video, I was like, let's just see it, and then you just see it come out of his face mask all over the ball. I'm like, you couldn't have like just moved your head a little bit, like
maybe he thought he was gonna hold it in, but also like. How good can you block if you're holding in puke?
Ew.
Like you're gonna get steamrolled by him.
Or you just start to puke all over yourself. Ew.
So we were talking about the Lions earlier. I think we should shift that to
the Bake Show.
Yeah, the Baker Bucks. They look good, man.
They do look good.
Real good.
And he was another person that just destroyed me on fantasy from your wife's team.
Yeah, my wife took it to you.
This was the first time, and I know I said last week I've never lost her. Well, I lost to her, guys, very badly by 60 points.
Yeah. So.
And she had Kamara, she had Godwin, and she had Jefferson, and she had A-Chain on the bench.
Yeah. In y'all's league, she scored over 200 in week 1, and then I think she was like 185.
Yeah,
she's riding pretty high right now. And there's a real pep in her step.
Oh yeah, which is.
Yeah,
she had rough last year.
Though. That's too many leagues.
So I'm in 4 leagues, and it's awful. And you can see it's way too many because you can see with the first league. So the league that I was telling you, the trade, that is my main league. Okay. I call that the King of the Castle.
Yeah, there you go.
We play for a championship ring. So
dude, I'm in that league.
Yep,
I'm competing for it.
We're ready for it, and that league is where like I feel the most confident. That team, I just feel stacked.
Yeah,
and then you look at every other team that I like drafted, and I'm just like, damn. What was I doing? I just thought I was gonna get all my picks, and nothing really happened. And I'm just like, all right, Devontae Smith, Michael Pittman, wide receiver core. not the greatest.
Smith had a decent game.
He did,
Yeah.
but AJ Brown was out.
Yeah.
That's
Normally
my backup
he's
as
number
well
2, yeah.
in the King of the Castle League. So that's gonna be my flex when he comes back is AJ Brown. So that's all I'm waiting for
Yeah.
is AJ Brown.
Yeah, I mean, I do. Going back to the Bucks, though, they look
They look
they've
great.
Looked good.
Baker
has looked good, and honestly, there's I saw something on like Instagram where they were talking about how it's the curse of the Panthers is what makes quarterbacks look bad because Baker was there for a minute, right, and was terrible, terrible, and that's why people thought his career was done. Bryce Young is there, was terrible.
Awful.
Sam Darnold was there, was terrible.
And now he's doing
really well.
it.
So they're like, hey, don't worry. Eventually, you'll get you'll part ways and you'll probably go win a Super Bowl somewhere. So
And
like, just,
he is the perfect fit in Tampa. Like the
Baker's
absolute
awesome.
perfect.
Yeah.
And they play Denver next week, so I think he's just gonna tear us apart.
Yeah.
As a Broncos fan, like I do love the Broncos. Don't get me wrong, but I'm also a realistic fan. Like, I'm not going to say, oh, we're going to win. We're going to do great. Because, I mean, look at Bo Nix is not giving me any hope.
I know.
And against a team that is on fire, Mike Evans is going to absolute eat against us.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I'm really excited for going into next week is I have Mike Evans. But, Mike Evans is going to eat. Godwin's going to eat out of the slot. We don't have a lot of corners besides Surtain, and I think Surtain is going to match up on Evans, but Evans is so big, he's going to get into the secondary quick.
Yeah, that's going to be a tough matchup for the Broncos for sure. And like, how far away are we from either seeing if Peyton's interested in coming back or calling Tim Tebow? Because
can Tom Brady come? I'll love him forever.
I mean, he would look at the weapons and be like, "No, thank you."
I know.
Like,
There's rumors. People are like, "Come to Miami. Come to Miami."
I've seen that. Yeah. I mean, that would be pay him $50 million for 1 year. It's like, bro, I wouldn't.
We sell Walmart for it.
Yeah, to throw to freaking Tyreek, like that'd be so fun.
Yeah.
Gosh, that'd be fun. And Achane, who, I mean, let's talk about
what a
beast
dog.
of a player. I love it when I saw it coming. And I have him in every league I'm in. Like, including my dynasty league. I drafted him last year.
Awesome.
I traded what would have been Bijan for him and more. I ended up with Jameson Williams, Tank Dell, and Achane, which I've been pretty happy with.
Yeah, I like
Williams
that.
look good. Tank Dell regressing a little bit, but Achane's been incredible. And honestly, Bijan is like, okay. What do you get? Like 15 last night?
I mean, he had around like 19.
Not quite what Achane did, but no big deal.
I know. Achane has been a dog, and I think
catching 11 passes a game.
I know.
Crazy.
Catching 11 passes, running it 20 times.
Yeah.
Like just always having the ball in
11
his hand.
catches for 15 yards.
Yeah.
It's like just dump passes to him, but hey, I'll take it.
Yeah, I mean, it will cover what Puka doesn't get you. And Cup.
That's true. I know. My whole plan of hey, one of them will be hurt. That was my plan. It was like, one of these guys will be hurt. It'll elevate the other guy, and
then both of them are not. Are you gonna change your team name?
I'm gonna have to. I think. Yeah, I'll have to. We'll see who I've got some irons in the fire on pickups. I don't think I want Robinson. I think I have to stay away from. I don't need more Rams wide receivers.
Yeah,
but
don't even. Ew.
That was my master plan. Is like they both have been hurt. Like that way I have the insurance.
Yeah,
and
you have Kyren, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. But I was like, if one of them is out, Puka and Kyren, their stock rises dramatically. Yep. Or if Puka's out, Cup and Kyren, and it's been a mixed bag so far. I looked good last week.
Yeah.
Look a little worse this week.
I was gonna say with normally Kyren. So I read something. Kyren averages like 100.
In
you did.
The Castle. So I mean 2-0, baby.
Yeah, we're the only two team. One of the only two teams 2-0.
I think
there's
aren't on
3
this podcast as a joke. Like we know what we're doing.
Yeah, we do. Yeah,
Sometimes.
we do.
Sometimes.
I went 1-3 this week in fantasy.
Ooh.
I want to. You know that Stewie meme where he like pulls covers over and just starts crying.
Yeah,
that's how I felt all weekend.
Yeah. I lost because so I went in with a 30-point lead into last night's game.
Oh my!
I had Kyle Pitts, right? 30 points in Kyle Pitts. He had Saquon and Bijan. So I was I went in like, this is like one of my closest friends. It was like, but then I was like, Pitts will get me 10. That's a 40-point lead. They can both get 15, 16. We're good.
And they both rushed for almost 100 yards each.
And Pitts did not get me 10.
Yeah, he got 2 catches.
My Pitts, that was a prediction that is not aged
we
well
both
thus
have
far.
fell into this one, yeah.
And my plan and the league I've been in the longest was Njoku Pitts. I was like, matchups.
IR
and
then
Pitts is terrible. So, Hunter Henry it is. I'm coming for you, Hunter.
Mike Gesicki.
Yeah, jeez. It's been up and down. But, speaking of up and down play, I mean, Deshaun Watson technically got the win.
Yeah, and
what an ugly game.
It was
between
awful.
those two.
And he ran in one of the touchdowns, ironically.
Yeah.
But it's like just gross. You think that Trevor would have just walked all over that team? Like they had a good
Jags
defense.
were going to be good this year. I thought
So
they
did I.
were going to be
I know.
risky.
I remember you saying that they were going to win that South, AFC South.
Oof.
And that one's I know it's only week 2, but oof.
Yeah, plenty of time to turn it around.
Yes.
For all of these teams.
Yeah.
Teams that look good could be
Could
terrible
suck,
after
yeah.
week 6. Like it is. That's the fun part. Like you can. If your team is bad, you can hope that they turn it around.
Yeah.
Looking at you, Broncos and Ravens and that.
There statistically only 25 teams have ever made the playoffs after starting 0-2, and that's
rough.
It's
that's
very
rough.
That's 72% of the teams don't make it.
Yeah.
So, and I was reading logically or realistically, 1, maybe 2 teams will make the playoffs this year out of those teams that start out 0-2. And I think it might only be, like, I was looking at all the teams, I'm like, the only teams that are, like, shocking right now that being 0-2 are the Bengals and the Ravens.
True.
So, I think those teams have a chance to do something, but same division.
I feel like both of them were in those games, too, for the most part.
Yeah,
I mean,
they were. And, I mean, Bengals technically lost on a PI.
Yeah.
So they were there. It's just,
how do you feel about the whole like the refs are on Mahomes' side thing?
I'll be honest. The Super Bowl maybe was a little bit of a gimme.
Yeah.
That one where he got pulled, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I saw it. Like you see there is contact.
Right.
Do you call that in that game? I don't know. That's kind of an up in the air call.
Right.
But if you watch some of these other ones, let's be honest, they are penalties.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
but you could call a penalty on just about every play.
Exactly.
In football if you
So
really wanted to.
It's where it's really coming down to, I think I'd have to like see, was the ball catchable?
Right.
Like that's where it really comes into play. Was like last night Ray McLeod.
Yeah.
Got
that
his whole body turned.
Yeah, that was pass interference.
Yeah, and I was like, what the hell?
He literally couldn't lift his left arm to try to catch
because
it because
he grabbed
he was
it
being held.
So I was like,
I know.
If that was the Chiefs, that probably would have been called.
Oh, for sure.
But
if I think any of the darlings of the league, if that was the Bills, probably called. Right?
Yeah.
Like
Cowboys, do you count them as a darling?
No.
They're the ugly sister.
I mean, they're not. They're not in. Yeah, no, they are the most profitable team. But outside of that, it's like no one. Yeah,
yeah.
They are really tanking towards irrelevance. Although CD's getting his numbers, so
he is. Yeah,
that's all I care about. Put up. He was my my. Yeah, I have him in a couple leagues, and so he's doing all right. Outside of that, I did not touch a player from Dallas because.
Yeah, why would you?
Yeah, just crazy. But how about, well, real quick before we move on, Deshaun Watson, they got the win, but ugly win.
Ugly,
I'm
awful.
not seeing them be a playoff team.
I'm not either. I'm seeing Judy catching out there. Like, he's actually catching some balls.
They have the pieces where if they could put it together, like, Jerry Jeudy is your number 2 to Amari Cooper's number 1
and
with
Coop
Njoku,
isn't even,
and then you get
Jerome Ford,
Nick Chubb back.
Nick Chubb.
I mean, or he's in, actually, right?
No, Chubb is
he's still
out for at least 2 to 3 more weeks.
Okay.
So
Oh, yeah, he was. He was
he's
out
on the
at time of
PUP
this.
list.
Yeah.
But Trevor Lawrence, are we considering him a bust now? It's been 3 years.
This is where it's like I don't know if I ever agree with consensus number 1 overalls. Now, the last time before Trevor Lawrence I saw it was Andrew Luck. And I feel like Andrew Luck was very good.
He was great.
I feel like he was very good, but I also feel like Andrew Luck being such a touted player, went to a team with no offensive line, and because of that, that's why he's no longer in the NFL.
Yeah.
I think he was beaten out of the league it just got to where it was injury after injury after injury. And so Trevor Lawrence has not had the same injury track, but it's hard to see what people were so enamored with. I mean, he played at Clemson, a great program with a great coach, and obviously NFL caliber players. And so was that the main difference? Like,
I don't know. I think because he had a lot of hype coming out of high school too. I mean, he technically didn't lose a game until I think the NFL. Like,
right. But I mean, how losing the game of football is a quarterback plays a big part.
It does, but it's not just on him.
If Caleb Williams has shown us anything, it's that man can a defense be helpful
exactly
in keeping you in games or winning games for you.
No, exactly. So
grain of salt that. But I would love to know, was he breaking records as a quarterback in high school? Was he just shredding
I think it's just because of his size. Like, he was huge.
Right. Because like to me, and this is ready for an overreaction, I'm gonna take it to your beloved Texas Longhorns.
Texas.
You've liked them for, I think we're on week 3 now. So
I think
it's
so.
A long
21 days.
But how about Arch Manning?
Oh, whoa, how?
The wheels on that guy.
Oh, I know. We haven't seen that from any of the Manning brothers.
If he could throw even like 75% of what his uncle could throw,
that was awesome.
And have those wheels, like,
that was awesome.
What's crazy is he's so much. He's still not better than, was it Eubanks? Who's their guy?
Ewers,
yeah. He's still like, he's going to be the backup again. He didn't win the starting position.
Yeah, Ewers is still going to come back, but
you chose a real, some would say bandwagon-y time.
You know what?
To hop on the Texas Longhorns. But I like it. I
as
like
a fan of 21 Days, I'm like, I mean, I don't know. Like, that was just the team. I'm like, Arch is going to be the guy. What a time to come into
that. Is kind of how my Miami Heat fandom started. Like, truly, my dad played college basketball at like in a like Division III program. So like, never great, but he liked basketball. So I grew up in South Florida and watched Shaq and the Magic when I watched Penny or Tim Hardaway games, and so it would be on. My dad has never really followed NBA super close, but it would be on. We would like watch the finals, watch all of that, but it wasn't until like 2006 that was when Dwayne Wade and Shaq won the first championship for the Heat. I was like, oh, okay, I like this, but still wasn't committed to the NBA. But when I decided I was going to like really get in was like 2010, when LeBron and Chris Bosh came. And I was like, I've been around this team. I was born in 87 in South Florida. They started in 88. Like, so a lot of comparisons, there. And I was like, this is just going to be my team, like ride or die. This is what we're doing. And since then I'm dying. So that might be you in Texas.
It is. And it's in Austin, Texas. So I'm like, my name's Austin. That's another thing.
That's it.
Scotty went to Texas.
Now, where this will be, you're putting this on the internet, and so like,
I know
in like 4 years, if they're a terrible program like my beloved Florida Gators,
I gotta be a Texas fan.
Yeah, my Gators can't beat anybody, and we're
1-2. We're here. I'm for it. Don't worry.
So you could choose when you want to be a fan and really start, and then just like
make sure. Yeah, I'm gonna live with it. Yeah. I feel like that's a good. I don't know. I'm just like Bijan was out of Texas, and I'm pretty high on Bijan this year, so I'm like. It works out.
I mean, Bijan was the superstar out of Texas. There have been a lot of great Texas players.
Yeah, Vince Young.
It's kind of the main one that comes to mind.
Yeah.
Is it just because he was on the cover of like,
I think
Madden
so.
NCAA at one time in his Texas uniform? Won the Heisman. Yeah, crazy. Let's what else we got? Saquon.
Rodgers.
Oh yeah, Raji.
Yeah, he's got his first win as a Jet.
It looked okay.
I mean, it was against the Titans, and it was close.
Yeah, old mayonnaise coffee. It was, yeah.
He's just a walking joke reel. Did you see how he that red zone fumble he did?
Yeah.
I didn't even get. It won't show me a video. I just see his legs up in the air and he's diving. I'm like, what happened? I think
even if you, what's funny is Malik Neighbors was on that team.
Yeah,
and they actively were like, "We're gonna go with mayonnaise coffee," and or not Malik Neighbors. Good Lord, Malik
Willis.
Willis, thank you, Neighbors. Not many Maliks that I know. So yeah, Malik Willis was on that team, and I don't know. They can't be like, yeah, he's our guy for the future. It's got to be like, let's get through this year.
Yeah. Call Ryan Tannehill again.
You're terrible at choosing teams. Like, he chooses the worst teams.
And
to go
same
to.
with Calvin Ridley. I don't know why he went over there. He had a good game, but still.
Yeah, it's just. I mean, Derrick Henry was like, I'm out of here.
Yeah, he was like, he did the smart thing. I'm gonna go try and get myself a chip, do what I need to progress my career.
Those two teams have the same record.
They do, which is crazy. I would say they are almost identical.
That is, but Raji's first one, less Garrett Wilson action than I was expecting.
Against
I have him in our
Tennessee.
Yeah, in our league, and
I thought he was gonna score a touchdown. Had a little parlay on that. Like,
I mean, yeah. Oh man, I did. I found this really. So I go through FanDuel. That's what I bet on typically.
I love FanDuel,
and they give you like it's like plus 13,000 on. If both teams will score a passing and rushing touchdown and a half.
Yeah.
So I've been putting $1 on that. Was like, if this ever hits and I win $130 on a $1 bet, like, that'll rule.
I'm going
to
to go
miss
through
this
and
130 times. Or 129 times to break even. Like,
That's true, yeah.
That's kind of how I think about it. And so I had it on a few games this weekend and didn't happen. But how much? What were the odds on your whole field goal thing? By the way,
it was $1 to win $28. So
that's pretty good.
Yeah, it was like it was nothing too crazy, but so plus 2,800. So if I threw $10 on it, it would have been like $280.
Now those are like my big bets are $10 because I've gone in bigger before. I always lose anything I do over $10. I've never won it. And I got to the point where I was like, all right, we're starting to flirt with dopamine levels that like are going to be like, I don't need to pay my mortgage this month. You know what I mean? And so I was like, I'm going to keep it like small. You still
keep
get
it $1.
A little dopamine hit. I'm playing off of winnings from last year, so I haven't even put my $100. No,
nice.
I haven't. I'm flirting around like 25, 26.
I got a referral bonus the other day from Michael Ramos. So I was like, I ironically used $10 of it last night on I was like, you know what? I'm only placing one, and I feel pretty confident about it. Let's just do $10.
Yeah.
And it was all first quarter props. It was Saquon to get 10 yards. It was Bijan to get 10 yards. Devontae Smith to get 10 yards. And then it was Goddard to get like 5.
Okay.
And Bijan to get like 3 receiving yards or something. Like super little. Not little, but like a lot to ask for in the first quarter.
Yeah.
But like it didn't hit. So that was done.
Dang. Well, let's with the little bit of information that we have at the moment. Do we want to like talk about this next week in the NFL?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So we'll go through the games that are coming up. There's some boring ones already. So starting with Thursday, Jets at Patriots. Very boring Thursday night game.
Why?
It's nice sometimes because I do watch so much football. I mean, watch all Sunday, watch Monday. Like I watch every time there's football on, I'm watching. Sometimes it's nice to be like, that can be on in the background. I can do other stuff.
Yeah.
Like I'll hang out. I don't know.
And it's just the Ramondre Stevenson show over there.
Do you have the Patriots winning? You have them 3-0?
Not at all.
I think the Jets will.
I think so too. Yeah. I just think that it's just crazy that the Patriots don't have anything besides Stevenson. Because he was running it out of the Wildcat.
Yeah, it's kind of all you need though.
Yeah, it is.
Well, speaking of that, you had kind of mentioned this. Do you think it's a Drake May? Do you think
that's what I was wondering? Yeah, they start him this like I think if you start him, do not start him on a Thursday night game.
Yeah, and to me it's the same as the Justin Fields thing. It's like y'all are somehow 2-0.
I think they lost.
Oh yeah, sorry, 1-1. But like staying in these games,
yeah,
like, closer than people are thinking. Like maybe you ride Brissett for one more week, and then the next 11 a.m. game. Mountain Standard Time.
Yeah.
You
start him.
Yeah. Start him. Okay, so we both have the Jets. All right,
yeah.
So how about let's go through these 11 a.m. games. We have Giants versus Browns.
Gross.
Browns.
Yeah.
Like neighbors might be able to make some magic happen, but
I think Garrett's gonna get to Daniel Jones so much.
Yeah, my Myles Garrett guy is doing all right. He's doing all right.
Yeah, that.
I wish I had Hutchinson though.
Oh, I know he had 30 points. The sacks were crazy.
That's insane.
It is.
Who has him in our league?
Sean.
Dang.
He had oh my goodness. He had the week of his life, and the dude. So it was Sean versus Honest.
Okay.
The dude that I traded with, and they both had the week of their life. But Sean had the better week because he had James Cook.
Okay.
He had oh my goodness, Marvin Harrison Jr.
Okay.
Aiden Hutchinson went off. He had Mahomes.
Yeah, Mahomes was like 15.
And yeah, he did all right, but he just had so many high scoring players. And he had George Kittle.
R.I.P.
He's
not dead, but he's hurt.
Yeah, he got hurt.
He got carted.
Oh
Carted.
no!
Yeah,
I didn't see
like
that.
into the locker room at halftime. Yeah, he's out.
Oof.
I think. I mean, I wasn't watching the San Francisco game, even though
Why would you?
they
when
came
they're
down to earth.
boring?
I know. Yeah, boring. Okay, so we have. So you were taking the Giants or the
No,
Browns?
I'm taking the Browns.
Okay, so that whole soliloquy. No, I'm just kidding. All right, how about Eagles Saints? I'm taking Saints all
I
day.
think so too. Yeah, especially
Who dat?
after last night, the Eagles getting rocked.
I feel like the Eagles are always in these like low 20 scoring games that come down to one of the final two drives, and right now the Saints are just gonna kick you in the mouth.
Yeah. Last year, the Eagles lost 3 games when they were leading going into the final 2 minutes.
Dang.
That means the defense, you need to tighten up.
Yeah, I will say so far, like the Saquon thing has looked
Great,
solid,
except for that drop pass.
Yeah,
That would have ended the game right there.
Yep, I know that.
That was costly.
But also you gave him the ball 100 times.
Oh
so
my
it's like
God,
he
I
was
know.
probably kind of tired. Like,
yeah, he's
spread
like,
it out. Yeah.
Bring in Westbrook. Isn't that their backup or whatever?
Oh yeah.
I don't even know. Or they might have dropped him actually.
I don't know. Like Brian Westbrook, you mean?
No, I thought they had another guy because I know Brian Westbrook from was a while ago.
Yeah, that's what I was like. How old is he? Is he like
No,
40? Like,
no,
what?
there was someone else. I thought it. I don't know. who I'm
I have
thinking
not
of.
kept close enough tabs on the Eagles'
I haven't either. I hate the
second
Eagles.
string running back. Although
When they have Saquon, why would you?
well, I mean, because Saquon gets hurt a lot.
True.
That's why the Giants didn't want to pay him. 'Cause
That's
they
a
were
good
like, you're
point.
hurt all the time.
Yeah.
Like, and I've already gone on my rant about bonus built structure, like bonus structured contracts, and I think it's still the way I would do it in the NFL with injury. But hey, all right, Texans Vikings.
This one's gonna be crazy. I think
Is Jefferson out?
I don't know. That's the thing. Like,
I'll take Texans.
I was gonna go
Yeah.
Texans either way because you got Nico, and my boy. I think
Yeah.
he's gonna go off. Not even go
You've
off.
been right
just,
so far. He's looked very good.
Nico has been
Yeah.
the number one over there, and I mean,
I don't know why I had in my head that Nico Collins was like a 29-year-old who's on his like third team.
no, this is his. I think he just got paid actually, so he's going
it's
into
like a
his
second
4th year.
Yeah. So I missed the ball on that because the whole time it was the Tank Dell show for me.
Yeah.
There and not been a show worth watching this year.
He has a dude to hold his chains. Did you see that?
That's sweet.
That giant 3 chain. There's a dude specifically for that.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Especially because he's like kind of little too.
He's Tank Dell's little, and the funny thing is, it's a big white dude with like ginger blonde hair. That holds it.
I mean, some say gingers are the scariest of us.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Okay. So far we're 4 for 4. We're in
Yeah.
agreement on this. All right. What about Broncos Buccaneers?
I think Baker's gonna walk over us. I think it's gonna be the Bake Show, and that we lose.
There is, and it's at Tampa.
It is in
and so
Tampa.
Tampa today, if I were to guess, it's probably 95 degrees and 100%
Yeah.
humidity. I'm from 2 hours south of there, but it'll be very hot and very humid, with chance of hurricane.
With chance of hurricane.
Yeah, like watch the forecast if you have
That's
Mike
hilarious.
Evans. I think the Bucs will win.
I don't think it's gonna be close either.
Packers Titans.
Packers, I think.
You think by rushing they're gonna run down their throats?
Trading for Josh Jacobs. I hope so.
I'm glad you're on the Packers fan wagon because they're a friendly bunch.
I hope so. They're the cheeseheads.
Cheeseheads, man. Yeah, I'm with you. I
Yeah.
think Packers will do it. I think Titans. What's interesting is the storyline is the 2 backup former Titans quarterbacks facing off.
That will be, I think.
I want to see Malik like dime.
I think he
just,
will
like, go nuts. Dobbs had that one. I don't know if you watched that game.
I didn't get a chance.
Dobbs had one like pretty nice catch. Outside of that, I mean, Reed had a few. It was all underneath stuff to him.
Yeah.
Which you'd expect from a
Josh
young
Jacobs
quarterback.
ran the ball 32 times.
Dude, I know.
So,
and that's where it's like, will he make it to the end of the season?
I hope so, because I
Me
just traded
too.
for him.
I've got his backup in a couple leagues for that exact reason.
Right.
But while he plays, yeah, he's been great.
Yeah.
Okay,
Bears Colts.
I'm going Colts.
I'm on that too.
Yeah.
I want A-Rich to go off.
He needs to. Down week this past week.
Yeah, it was rough.
And the Bears, I just feel like
They're
are
Bears.
Yeah, they're tough defense.
their defense looks good, but God, their offense looks awful.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
It's bad when the DJ Moore is getting credited with a tackle for fantasy.
Yeah,
Like,
that's not good. Not good.
Yeah.
I would remind everyone there have been very successful quarterbacks who started slow
Yes.
like this, and so we're not going to react on the future of that team. But going into week 3,
they need to do better.
yeah, I feel like the Colts will handle them.
Yeah.
Chargers, Steelers.
I think this is the one we might disagree on.
I'm bolting all day.
I knew you were, because I'm going to go Steelhead, baby. I'm going to ride this Justin Fields wave, I think.
I think that the Chargers will win, and let me tell you why. I think they can score more than 16 points, which is all the Steelers are capable of scoring. And so I think
field goals, baby.
field
Field
goal
goals.
time, yeah.
Yeah, we'll see J.K. Dobbins, how he does against the Steelers this upcoming week.
Yeah.
One of the dudes I traded. We'll see if
I am here for the Quentin Johnson revenge tour.
Oh, my goodness. He's been
Like-
getting... I see him popping up in trending pickups, and I'm like,
I don't
no
know
way.
that that's going to continue, but at the same time,
2 receiving touchdowns.
yeah.
But
I
it was
know.
against the Panthers.
Right. And that's where I think that's where I think it's like stifle your expectations.
Right.
Like they in the dynasty league that I'm in, my wife Tabby, who typically beats me in all things fantasy, she took Quentin Johnson because it was like Smith and Jigba went 1, then I think Addison went like was the second receiver off the board. Then it went Zay Flowers, then Quentin Johnson.
Yeah.
Like, was kind of how it went in most fantasy things. And she was in that position where she needed the receiver and was like, this guy at a TCU seems good. And it's like, I hope he can catch. He caught 2 touchdowns, so yay.
And the first game, he was non-existent. So
Which has been like his career up until
Yeah.
this past Sunday has been like,
Where are you?
oh,
bud?
he's on the field? Like, it's
Literally,
like that.
you're wide receiver 5?
Yeah, exactly.
You're not on the punt return
Woof.
team?
Woof. All right. So yeah, I have the Chargers. You have the Steelers.
Yep.
I that's our first disagreement.
Yep.
All right, we're gonna have to like post this, so it's somewhere.
And we'll see how many of we were right with.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Dolphins, Seahawks. Who do you have?
I think the Seahawks will win that. I don't think Skylar Thompson is gonna. That offense is garbage now.
Just for disparity, I would be on the fence. I'm probably 50.5% Dolphins on this, just because I think they have the playmakers that can do something, and I also like. I've never been a huge Geno guy, and I like that he's had this resurgence and has been able to kind of show what he could do on a competent team, and like I love it. But give me the weapons with a lesser quarterback versus. I don't know. I've never been a big Seahawks guy. I don't know why.
I hate the Sea Chickens.
Yeah. My wife went
since
to
they
University of Oregon and so hates Pete Carroll. Like anything Pete Carroll, she was like, I just hate that. Like she just.
That's so funny.
It is deep hatred for him. And so
ever since they beat us in the Super Bowl, I'm like,
yeah, that was a bad one.
my cousin's a Sea Chickens fan.
Those darn Sea Chickens. Okay,
know.
Panthers, Raiders.
As much as I hate to say it, we know the Raiders are gonna win.
That
Unless
might be
Andy
the-
Dalton shows up out of nowhere and is like, all right, you guys remember that I used to take the Bengals.
What if he Joe Flacco's and is like the Flacco of this year? He comes back in, the wily old vet. They get who's it, Jonathan Brooks, their rookie running back. They get him back because right now it's Miles Sanders. I think is. And
I can't believe he went
Hubbard.
over there.
Yeah, I mean what a downgrade for him.
Yeah.
and like he doesn't do anything. He's not even a
Nothing.
starter.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the Raiders will take it to
think
them
so.
pretty handedly. And I had very early on said I've always liked Gardner as a quarterback, and like I like Gardner as a quarterback. I like Minshew.
I can't believe he was doing what he did against the Ravens.
I can. I feel like he's always been okay. I feel like in Jacksonville he wasn't the reason they were losing.
Baby.
He would score 28 and lose, and they're like Gardner can't win. It's like he scored 28 points, like or like led the offense to multiple touchdowns. Like what are you talking about?
Yeah.
How is this on him? And that's where sometimes the quarterback gets too much praise for wins and losses. It's like if you have a terrible defense and Patrick Mahomes, those are the years that he hasn't won a Super Bowl, right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, if you give a great defense with a quarterback like Mahomes who can make any receiver good, that's how you win a Super Bowl. And they're working on going towards their third. So
they're looking like they might make it. Who knows?
I just feel justified as I've been riding for Gardner for a while.
Yep. And that it proved it on Sunday. I mean, he came back 13 unanswered points.
And regardless of his talent, like maybe the coolest guy in the NFL.
I know that,
like just
the
cool,
biker
man.
Stash, the whole.
Gosh, it looks like he lives in a van somewhere.
Yes, he
like
does.
Just like being
painted,
awesome.
He just like paints.
Yeah, and he's made like probably like what $50 million in his career.
Yeah.
Like he's what a dude.
What a guy.
Yeah. All right. 49ers Rams. Now remember the Rams are without Puka.
It's IR Central over there.
Yeah, and then
it's
49ers are without Puka and Kupp. The 49ers are without Debo and McCaffrey. Who do you got?
Just because I don't want to see them win, I think Stafford can pull it out. I'll go with the Rams.
I'm with you. I think it comes down to
who has the ball last.
Who has the ball last, and also like which quarterback do I believe in more? And
Stafford.
I think Stafford is one of the greatest to have ever played.
Oh, yeah.
I think he was in an unfortunate circumstance where, again, high-scoring offense, but Swiss cheese defense on the Lions when like Megatron was there, and so I'm Rams all the way.
Yep.
All right, what do you think? Lions, Cardinals.
I want to say the Lions. As much as I want to say the Lions, the Cardinals are really, really just like making me want to say that. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with the Cardinals.
I agree with you. I think the MVP crusade continues. I love the Detroit Lions. I still think that they probably will win the NFC North and be in the playoffs. Like I mean, the Vikings are coming on a little crazier than I thought.
Yeah, I wrote them off.
If the Packers can hold on in Love's absence, that would be the only reason that I don't think that the Packers like could really give the Lions a run for their money, or at the very least make a wild card push. And so, but I think the Cards are gonna. I think they're gonna be a force. And
I think so too.
I'm
with you on this one.
All right. Ravens Cowboys.
I hate the Cowboys. The Ravens are gonna get their first win.
Yep. I agree.
They're gonna walk all over them.
Yep. I think it is going to be a huge game for Lamar.
Oh yeah.
I think they're going to. I don't want to say handedly beat the Cowboys, but I think it will be. I would give them plus 5.5. You know what I mean? I would give them. I think they'll win by 6 or more. I think they'll. I don't know. I see this as this is a low point in the season, and I'm hoping. Granted, I've spoken about my. I'm really all Baltimore in this one league where I have Lamar, Derrick Henry, and Zay Flowers. I need that to happen.
You're like, I need something right here.
Yeah. So I think that's where I'm at.
I'm with you. I think the Ravens take it.
All right, so it's still just the two. The Chargers. I have the Chargers and the Dolphins winning, and you have the Steelers and the Seahawks winning. That's the only place we've disagreed. Chiefs, Falcons. Let me go first.
Yep.
I think the Falcons will win.
Kirk Cobain. That's what I'm wondering.
I think the Falcons are going to I think they started putting some stuff together. I think Drake London, who so many people have said has been wasted on this team. I thought that Pitts would be the easier target.
I thought so too.
But they also give him the terrible routes too. If you watch his route tree, it's a 10-yard in all of the time.
I watched that, and then he gets doubled by a linebacker and the safety, and I'm like, guys.
The linebacker has the underneath, so you can't make the throw. You can't try to throw it down and let him get it. You can't throw it up because he's there's still the safety, especially when they're in the red zone. It made me so mad. It was let him run a hitch. Let him run a hitch. I promise he'll be so good. And then they did it twice.
And he caught it.
Catches he got. I was like, guys, that was 7 yards. You do that twice. Twice it's a first down. That's it.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing. I know that you want to hand it to Bijan 96 times, but I don't know.
It's nice having Bijan and Pitts, but at the same time, it's a killer because I'm like, come on, feed the ball to Pitts.
I have been ready for a hot take here. I have been I feel like more impressed with Algiers running than Bijan.
That was crazy last night.
Algier looked
and I was
good,
like,
man.
And being a
I haven't.
Bijan owner, I was like, damn, no. I almost thought about picking up Algier as like having
Handcuff?
that 1-2 punch, but then I'm like, I can't have Pitts, and then like that's all 3 players all in the Falcons.
Well, I mean, Algier would really be your like backup. If Bijan goes down, all of a sudden he's RB1, like in a very competent RB1, which is why it still didn't really make sense why they got Bijan, because it was like Algier is very good.
It was pretty confusing. Their draft picks the past couple years have been confusing with Bijan and then Penix.
Now most people considered Bijan a generational,
and I love it.
I get that.
Don't get me wrong, I love it,
that.
but
I mean, I maybe argue that Devon Achane, who's the fastest running back ever timed at the combine, like maybe he's gonna be okay too. But
coming out of as a track star,
Yeah.
I mean, he was a late draft pick too. It was
have him and Tyreek raced yet?
They definitely have to have. Just it probably it's not posted because Tyreek lost.
Yeah, probably. Oh man, we have to talk about the arrest, right?
Oh yeah, that was so funny.
That was crazy. Here's what I'll say. And I don't want to dive into like any political anything, and we're going to skirt this without. I think that Tyreek was overly aggressive. I also think that the cops were overly aggressive.
Yeah.
And I think that they both just like riled each other up. And watching that video.
Both the aggression was there. And then the cops shouldn't have put Tyreek in the headlock. Like, that was crazy.
It was insane. It was insane. And it, like, you had to have known that. I mean, I don't know if that cop is fired or.
They did fire him.
Yeah. So it's like you have to know, like, this isn't going to go great for you because this is
it's going to be
even
everywhere.
if it wasn't a high profile person. And what I will not argue against is like he was going like 100 and like a 50. Like he was doing something insane, which, you know,
not safe.
We have Henry Ruggs III will be the first to say, like,
don't do that.
If you kill someone while you drive, there are repercussions in your life beyond football, as he is in prison. And so, you know, I hope Tyreek drives safer, but at the same time, I mean,
maybe get arrested more because he does better.
Yeah, he came out and he at least was
130
I almost
yards
felt
and
like that was impacting the team's play in the first half, though. Like it was kind of sitting there, and maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was just they got off to a slow start. But
they didn't do anything, and then all of a sudden everything just started to click.
Yeah, and then to his brain clicked against the back of his skull.
To a brain soup.
Yeah.
I almost changed my fantasy team name to that.
That'd be a mean thing to change.
It was. That's why I didn't do it.
All right. Monday Night Football double feature on Monday. What is happening?
That's crazy.
We have first up Jaguars, Bills. Who are you taking?
I think the Bills will get it.
I think the Bills.
I do. I think.
Yeah, me too.
Jacksonville's
Josh Allen might be like number 2 in my MVP prediction list right now. Behind.
Which is crazy. Did you know he has more rushing touchdowns than Christian McCaffrey?
You sent me that.
Yeah,
that's crazy. And I mean, probably even being significantly younger than a Christian McCaffrey has logged more minutes already because McCaffrey's always hurt.
He is always hurt.
Running backs are always hurt, and they're like, well, why aren't we paid? It's like, because you're always hurt. And granted, it's because your job is tougher. Like, you're taking more beatings than a wide receiver. But, hey. All right.
I forgot to say, I think we have our another disagreement because the Chiefs are going to win that game. Even as much as I love Kirko and I love Bijan, I think Mahomes and company will get it done.
You root for a team in the AFC West, and you're thinking, I know, you're being honest.
My girlfriend is a Chiefs fan as well, so I'm like,
I forgot.
Because I know having Bijan and Pitts, I'm like, yeah, you guys score.
I have nothing to say because I've adopted the Packers as a team that I love because of my wife. And so, you know, what's weird is when you start rooting for them independently, like not around that person, which maybe won't happen for you for the Chiefs, but for the Packers, for me, I watch Packers games. Like if she's doing something, like I'll watch the Packers play. And so I've very much adopted them as my NFC team.
I know. I wish they were in different conferences. It sucks to be,
or even different divisions.
Yeah,
in the same conference because that's
this is rough.
That's rough. Yeah. I mean, I think Vegas will probably have money on the Chiefs. I don't know that I've been as impressed with the Chiefs as I think they barely won against the Ravens and they barely won last week, and so
I almost feel like the Chiefs' run game is gonna open up kind of crazy. Watching how Saquon was able to tear apart that O-line or the D-line at first, but We'll see.
You're thinking it's Carson Steele show.
Maybe.
It's Steely Dan over there.
And I think Travis Kelce kind of comes back and like has a better game because he only had 2 catches and a rush.
Yeah. He hasn't been
anything.
I mean, to me, it's like he's always someone that you just feel will eventually get in the rhythm. A lot of tight ends I'd be concerned about in fantasy. That position
is not looking good this year.
It's been pretty crazy. And I think a lot of people that I thought were going to do very well. A lot of people had Laporta. A lot of people had Dalton Kincaid as having huge years, just especially with no one else in Buffalo. But Josh Allen is
he's doing it himself. Yeah.
Well, and he's throwing touchdowns. I mean, so
and not to Keon Coleman.
No, not to Coleman. But yeah, so I mean, it's tight end has been a tough position now with Kittle being out. Mark Andrews is week 1 did nothing. Last week I think was okay.
He likely wasn't as big of a threat this week. So
I mean we'll see. And there's one more game though this week that we gotta
the doubleheader on Monday.
Commanders Bengals. I mean I'm gonna go Bengals.
Joey B. I just traded for him. Got to ride a high.
Isn't your backup Jaden though?
It is.
Dang. So I mean,
it was Kirko, and I'm like I think I want Jaden just because, like, what if he does do good? I'm like, oh, I'll keep him for later in the year.
Were you worried when he went out and what looked like an ACL tear? Did you see that game?
I didn't have a chance to see it.
He was rushing. Like, he's got to learn how to slide because I thought he tore his ACL and then he came back in like a few plays later.
Maybe I do pick up Kirko.
I mean, what he needs to learn is what so many of these quarterbacks. It's actually what I like about Kyler. He was a baseball player, so he's comfortable sliding, and he slides far. It's crazy. Yeah. He knows what he's doing. Whereas all of these other guys like Lamar, all of that, you watch Lamar lower his shoulder, and it's like, how many shoulder injuries have you had, dude?
Yeah, aren't you supposed to use that to throw?
Yeah, just slide. And you just obviously Tua. This week with a big thing, I feel like Fields, you don't see slide as much as you want. Anthony Richardson, has taken some hits where he doesn't slide.
He thinks he's so big he can just shoulder check you in, and it's like, dude, you got to get down.
Yeah, just get down. I mean, and again, Richardson being a bigger bodied guy, you can do that more. But I mean, Daniels does not look like he's a beefy guy. He's like kind of
he's
slender.
pretty tiny.
Yeah. Not like Kyler small. I mean, no, he'd be smaller than Kyrie Irving. But, I mean, yeah, I don't know. I think so we differ on 3 games.
Yep.
So I'll post that. We'll have to do a follow-up this next week and
see how we
talk through it. Oh, man. Well, I guess with that, I mean, that does it for this week. We'll talk to you all next week. If you're watching this on YouTube, thank you. Follow us on Instagram and TikTok as well. And please subscribe to all things. And we'll see you next week.
Yeah, see you next week. Later.